Hi everyone, Max Gullekson. Hi Margaret.
Hello Max, how
Thanks
are
for
you?
coming back again.
My pleasure.
So last month we had black and white stills of Belfast 1972 John Day. This month we have another art display for the whole month that is a little more 3D, I guess you'd call it, sculptors and such. We're calling it Harmony in Glass and Metal, a retrospective exhibition. Margaret, what is this all about?
So we have local artist John Lewis, who has been living in the community for lots and lots of years, and he is just amazingly talented in glass, blown glass, and also in metal sculpting. And we're just thrilled to be the place where we are able to host his wonderful work. So we will have examples of, and I've already seen some of the pieces, and they're amazing, seeing them up close. So it'll be a very colourful show, and there'll be a lot of different textures to see. And I think for many people who might know the Lewis family, it might be a surprise to see his work and to see it all together. Because, during a lifetime you build up an amazing amount of work. It shows the differences, how you started out, and the growth and maturity of your work and your skill. And I think that the exhibit is going to show that very ably, and I think people will be very interested to see.
Now, you said John Lewis. Some people would be surprised. Is there a local connection with Mr. Lewis?
Yes, he has been in Southbridge for probably 35 years or thereabouts, and as far as I know, and his family has grown up here, so people will know either him or his family. So it's always interesting to see what people have done, and especially people in the creative arts, and also in a town like Southbridge, where we have a big connection to glass. I think it's a very important. He also has a connection to Incom. So people there will know him. So we'd love if everybody who knows him will come, and for those who don't, also we're welcoming everybody to come and have a look.
This is a retrospective.
As you can see, it's a studio-based type of art, so it's very hands-on, demands a lot of space, and also, the process is very dangerous, blowing glass, you need lots of heat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it's physical.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So he also has a connection to the glass studio at the Worcester Centre for Arts in Worcester, and set up the studio there. So there'll be a lot of people who have been his students will recognise his name and will visit.
Oh, that's neat. A reception on Thursday?
The reception is on the first Thursday of the month at 6:30 until 7:30.
And then we're running the exhibition the entire month, just like all of them.
Right, and for people who come, please don't forget to write in the guest book and let Mr. Lewis know that you've been and visited and what you thought of the exhibit.
That sounds great. Now, of course, you have other programs. For instance, you have Monday Night STEAM on the 6th of May. Now, those who are savvy of the schools now know that STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, is the buzzword for teaching the kids now. But you've added a letter, made it STEAM. Now, what is the A for in STEAM?
A is for the arts.
Oh, so you added some art to all the science.
Right, and it's a good mix of different disciplines, and students who come, or not students, but anybody who comes, especially the kids, they really enjoy it, because every week. This is in the children's room. Every week there's something very different, and it allows the kids to experiment. So they can come to the library and try out various gadgets that we have, and just putting things together, and just let the creative process work. It's really important that kids get an opportunity to use their creative processes and to try things out and fail. But that's part of the learning process too.
But in a fun way. I mean, people think STEM and they don't necessarily think fun. But it sounds interesting, and it's
really
going to make them practical application, do something fun in those things.
Well, it could be potentially a career down the road.
You never know.
Being exposed to various disciplines and the opportunity to try things out in a supportive environment, and that's what we're hoping that we offer, is that kind of support and opportunity, and hopefully people will, especially the younger kids, that they'll move up with the program. We've done coding as well, and the children's department has a very active, hands-on approach, and we're hoping to continue with that. In the teen department, we have also been working with robotics, and we had the opportunity the other day to show some of the middle school students who are in the 21st Century program just what the the teen librarian has been working on, putting together some robots that we have bought, and it's a lot of fun, and they can do all kinds of gyrations and dancing and whatever. And
Oh, neat.
it's really the beginning of robotics, and if people get interested, maybe they would
that's a hot
pursue
science
that.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you've got glass sculptures and you have steam, and so if that doesn't tickle a person's fancy, we also are learning how to play the ukulele this month. We have Julie Stepanek on the 16th of May at 6:30, and she's gonna bring her ukulele and give some lessons.
Yes, so it's a program funded by the Southbridge Cultural Council, and we're very grateful for the funding. And it's allowed us to invite Julie to come with her ukuleles. So for anybody who doesn't have a ukulele, that one will be there for you to use. But if anybody has their own ukulele, please bring that so that we'll have more ukuleles to go around.
Oh, sure.
And in the hour-long program, she will show people just how the ukulele works and give them opportunity to try playing and just to see how they can really maybe just get into a musical form.
To join the band as the ukulele player.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
wonderful.
And it has been very popular with a lot of people. It's sort of inspired people to get back into music. People who might have gone through the band programs in various communities.
They might have had it in their background, and this is just a little nudge for them to pick it up again.
Yeah, and it's something else. It's maybe something much more accessible.
Well, if it's like all of them, I'm sure it's fun too, Margaret, because all of those
all about
programs
fun.
over there are fun. Now, the ukulele, the 3D art, and the STEAM, if that's not enough, we have the family nurse, home medical care in the early 19th century, a presentation by Christy Higginbottom, and we're doing that on the 23rd of May. What is that going to be like, Margaret?
Well, that's another Cultural Council program that's been funded by the Southbridge Council, and we're hoping to show people how the old cures from herbs and working in the garden can actually help people, and how that worked. All these different apothecary things that could be devised from plants grown in your own yard and even in your house, that how you can use those for medicinal purposes.
Oh, I think that's so timely now. People are so into that kind of a holistic care versus taking pills.
Yeah, and in the 19th century, that was just what people did.
Yeah.
They were their own nurse, so to speak. Nowadays, people have more of a reliance on something that comes from the pharmacy.
Sure.
But still, some of these old cures we go back to. And it's interesting to see how the history of how people have cultivated their gardens and used them in a very effective way for medicinal purposes. So, and it's another form of historical look back. You know, we're not just looking at the history of a community, but how people behaved and what they did, and like the social history.
Sure.
So I think it gives us an idea. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it's just interesting to know how people treated things and what tinctures they made, and you know, some of them obviously didn't work.
Yeah, no, I think people look back and they want to know, because we're so, you know, we're just so centralized now and everything's institutionalized. But that sounds good too. And of course, as per always, you have Knitting with Sonia, Tinkering Thursday. What are we doing on Wednesday? Crafty Wednesday.
Crafty Wednesdays,
And
always.
the plethora of other beautiful programs you always have every month.
Indeed, and actually, May is Bicycle Month, and we have for the last number of years been honouring bicycles and, you know, talking about them and building up our collection. So we have quite a nice collection of materials in book format, and we also have our bicycles that we hope to you know, actually loan out to people.
Oh, neat.
So we have those 3 bicycles, and we're hoping to get that up and running. So that will be hopefully what we will be doing in the month of May.
That's cool. Anybody in town knows by driving by your library nowadays you have that bicycle station up front with the air, which fits right into that theme as well.
Yes.
Margaret, thanks for coming on. Folks, there you have it, another long list of things that you can do in the month of May over at the Jacob Edwards Library with the crew over there and all the guests that they're going to have. We will be back again in June, and Margaret will too, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And we'll find out what's happening next month in the Jacob Edwards Library. And this is Max Gullekson. This is Southbridge Community Television. We're signing out.
Thanks,
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you.